A very warm and pleasant morning to everyone present here. The Department of Food Science and Quality Control welcomes you all to the international webinar on the topic Safe Food Handling at Home and from an Industrial Level as part of the International Lecture Series Vykhari 2021. The term Vykhari means the dissemination of knowledge through words, and it was initiated as a part of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations in 2015 with the purpose of conducting annual lecture series. Let us start the webinar by invoking the blessings of the Lord Almighty, requesting Teresa Rachel to render the prayer song.
കാണായ ലോകങ്ങൾ കാക്കുന്ന ദേവാ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധോ നമിക്കുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ കാണായ ലോകങ്ങൾ കാക്കുന്ന ദേവാ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധോ നമിക്കുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ വിറയാർന്ന കൈകൾ ചലിക്കുന്ന നേരം ഞങ്ങൾ തൻ കരളിൻ്റെ കൈക്കുമ്പിൽ നീട്ടി വിറയാർന്ന കൈകൾ ചലിക്കുന്ന നേരം ഞങ്ങൾ തൻ കരളിൻ്റെ കൈക്കുമ്പിൽ നീട്ടി ചൊരിയുക നാഥ നിൻ സ്നേഹധാര കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധോ നമിക്കുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധോ നമിക്കുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ കാണായ ലോകങ്ങൾ കാക്കുന്ന ദേവാ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധോ നമിക്കുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ.
To welcome the gathering and to introduce our chief guest, I invite our head of the department and professor, Ms. Anju Anacharian.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here today. It's indeed a privilege for me to welcome all of you who have attended or who are attending the seminar this morning. Vykhari, which stands for Dissemination of Knowledge Through Words, is an initiative which has been adopted by the college since the year 2015 as a part of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Today's lecture is being led by one of our very prominent alumni who is now based in Dubai. The introduction, which I will give a little later. At the outset, I would like to welcome members of the institution, especially our principal, Dr. Steffi Thomas, who has been very dynamically leading us for the past few months and has extended a great amount of support in the conduct of this seminar. Wholeheartedly welcoming Dr. Steffi Thomas to this lecture series being held by our department today. At the same note, I'd like to also extend a warm and cordial welcome to our Director of Self-Financing, Reverend Father Philmon Kalatra, who has always extended his support during his tenure and in extending his leadership qualities in the betterment of our department. A very warm and cordial welcome is extended to you also, Reverend Father Philmon Kalatra. To all the faculty members as well as the students from other colleges who have assembled here to hear the valuable tips that will be given and disseminated via this lecture series by our alumni, I extend to all of you also a very warm and cordial welcome. Introducing our resource person for the day, Ms. Neetu Pradeep. She is currently working as the Food Safety and Hygiene Supervisor at Capital Club Dubai, UAE. She has an extensive experience of 6 years and is an exceptionally seasoned as well as conscientious food inspector who values hard work, organization, as well as company loyalty. Her duties involve carrying out internal food hygiene audits in all food preparation areas, as well as developing, implementing, reviewing, and updating the food safety management system procedures in accordance with the local regulations and international standards. She ensures the safe and correct inspection of all deliveries and maintains a strong as well as effective relationship with the designated suppliers. In addition to the overseas areas, she also implements effective food hygiene measures, which ensures that food is prepared in a safe manner. Further, as a food and safety supervisor, she ensures that she is solely responsible for the conformity with all corporate, federal, as well as local sanitation, food safety, as well as health. She has achieved the Nutrition Healthy Portion logo by coordinating with the Dubai municipality for four of her recipes in the present company. And she has also, to add to her credit, completed her master's degree from MOP Vaishnav College, Chennai. She has, during her tenure here as a student, been a very, very active as well as a very, very prominent person in all activities related to the department. And she has always stayed in touch to ensure that our students are up to date with all the aspects related to the food science and quality control areas, especially in the industrial activity with relation to science as well as technology. She has also led a number of certificate courses which has been held on campus for the food science students. I take this opportunity on behalf of the department as well as on behalf of the college to invite and personally welcome Ms. Neetu Pradeep to lead this technical session. Once again, extending a very warm and cordial welcome to all gathered here. Thank you.
Requesting Ms. Neetu Pradeep, Food and Safety Hygiene Supervisor, Capital Club, Dubai, to lead the technical seminar. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi all, can you all hear me? Can you please
Ma'am, we can
someone
hear
come?
you.
Yeah, but is there any disturbance or something?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
We can hear you
so
clearly.
let's all start. Hi all. Yeah, just a minute. I'm just turning on my camera. Yeah. So hi all. So my name is Neetu. I mean I hope you all know me. I'm also one of your super seniors. I've done my bachelor's in BCM college. So let's start for the day. How many of you are there for the video? Because I cannot see properly. Can somebody tell me that how many girls are there for this video session?
Miss, we're going live in YouTube right now. So there's
Okay.
120 people are watching live, and in the Google Meet there's 6 of us.
Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, so I mean, this will be more of a, I mean, like, a group discussion, right? Like, because I can see everybody has muted their video. Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. There will be an interactive session at the end, and so I will be asking the questions that the students put in the comment box in YouTube. I'll be asking them to you here.
Okay, perfect, no problem. Yeah, so guys, today's topic is safe food handling in home and as well as an industrial perspective. Yeah, so let me give you a few introduction about industrial perspective. So I've been working in Capital Club from the past 5 years. So ours is basically a kitchen. Yeah. So let me give you some introduction about my club. So our club is an executive club. So where all these business people, they become the members over there, and they interact one on one or and with group people for their discussion and for their corporate and other meetings and all, and they conduct sessions and all for their meeting. Like for example, what do I say? There's a leading bank over here, like which is XYZ. So if they want to perform any function, or if they want to have any client meetings or any group functions or something, they book our halls and our meeting rooms and all. So they have like business meetings and all. So everybody has a misconception when I say it's a club, it's like a pub bar. It's completely a different thing. Capital Club is a business executive club where like members come and meet, and then they have their own business over there, and they have, it's more of a business oriented club. Yeah. So they come in for business meetings, like it's an executive club, they come in for business meeting. So recently we've been had like meetings from our one of the sheikhs and the ministers also. You can all Google or like follow Instagram Capital Club Dubai, so you will get the details, like who all comes there. And also recently the ministers and sheikhs, one of the sheikh of tolerance had come over there, and he had introduced one of their books. So those kind of meetings happen. So it's like an executive club. So we have like one kitchen over there. Basically we have like two kitchen, but at the moment one kitchen is only functional. So we have all the kitchen duties and activities going on there, like right from the receiving, so from receiving, then your processing, cooking, everything, all the steps happens basically in a kitchen. So it's a very wide kitchen, and we have got like multinationality people over there, like inside the club. And then also different nationalities are working in the kitchen. We have very less of Indians, but like other nationalities. And my executive chef is an Italian, and head chef is also an Italian. So like different nationalities. We have less of Indians, but more of Europeans involved, like Colombians and Italians, and other nationalities are more. So right from the beginning, from my career, I've been interacting with all these kind of people. So what is the like you get to know more from their country also, because it's a different thing. Like when different brains and different nationalities involved, it's a different thing. So that's a bit small introduction about the Capital Club. Yeah. So that way. So yeah, I'll start about the safe techniques in an industrial perspective. Like, see, in an industrial perspective, in the sense, like since I'm in Dubai, we have a local federation, that is our Dubai municipality. So I follow all the regulations from the Dubai municipality. Like we have a book called Food Code. Yeah. So we follow everything from the Food Code. Like it's like a food Bible. Like they send out like every year their regulations, which is updated, and we need to take it from them. And then according to that food code, we implement everything. So basically we have like, if we have like maybe 20 people in the kitchen, so right from the head chef till the stewarding means the people who wash the vessels, and they'll be in charge of the chemical and all. Yeah. So right from the head chef till the stewarding, we will have to give them a training, which is like basic food hygiene training. Like they will have to have some basic qualification about food. So in that training they will explain you, like how to like handle food, then the safe handling of foods, and then what are the microorganisms involved. Like more of microbiology, it will be like how we have in our college, but it will be more in a very, like not in a major aspect, but at a very low aspect, so that it is easy for all the food handlers to understand. So that way they have a basic food hygiene training, and they have another training, that is PIC. Yeah. So PIC is the person who is responsible for the kitchen to check everything, like basically with checklists and all. They will be going around and checking, and like they will be checking how the kitchen is organized, and how the safe food handling techniques are involved. And then when municipality comes, what all checks we need to do. So PIC is the person who checks. So in my kitchen, I'm also one of the PIC. So I'm hygiene supervisor as well as the PIC. So I'm also involved in this. Yeah. So I'm just giving you an example so that you guys understand that what is basic food hygiene and PIC. So basic food hygiene is something which is on a very lower base, and PIC is little bit a standard base, so that they know what to do in the kitchen. Yeah. So they start from there. So in a hotel or in a club, it involves like everything which involves in checklists. Yeah, so you have a cooking checklist, you have a cooling checklist, you have vegetable washing. So it starts from everything. So when you say safe food handling techniques, we can start from right from the receiving. Yeah, so receiving, we can start from safe food handling. That is, when we are receiving, we can see what is the temperatures of the food. For example, if we are receiving a frozen food, say we are receiving frozen chicken. So usually for frozen temperatures, it should be minus 18, and for ice creams, I think it's minus 22. Yeah, it can go to minus 22. So we need to see, first of all, while we are receiving, we've got CCPs. Yeah, so we see if the CCP, that is the control point, is minus 18. Like when we are receiving something, the food should not go up to minus 10. Now there is two category in this. When the receiver or the purchasing manager is receiving something, he or she has to check the temperature of the food. So now if he is receiving frozen chicken, it should be minus 18. Okay, so minus 18 in the sense, how does he check? He will have a ray thermometer or he will have a probe thermometer. So that is his source to check, because visually we cannot see, or we cannot touch and see if the food has, if it is frozen or if it is defrozen. So he needs to check with the ray thermometer or with a probe thermometer. Now when a HACCP audit comes, okay, so our company is also HACCP implemented, so I'm just covering the points. So when you have an HACCP audit, like when you have a HACCP audit for your HACCP implementation as well as for your surveillance audit, when you implement HACCP, in order to get your HACCP certificate, you need to have an audit. So when the auditor sees everything is okay, that is when he or she gives the HACCP certificate. Apart from that, every year HACCP certificate is, I think, to my best of my knowledge, HACCP certificate is for 3 or 4 years. So every year you have a HACCP surveillance audit. That means every year the auditor comes and sees if we are following everything rightly, or if we have any new procedures that has been added to the HACCP manual. So this is one step. Second thing, when they come in for an audit, first they start to check your ray thermometer and probe thermometer. So in your ray thermometer, it has to be calibrated every year. Like you need to give it to an external company for a calibration. So they will give you a sticker for 1 year. So the HACCP auditor, he or she will start from your ray thermometer, if your ray thermometer is calibrated or not. Anything in a food industry or in a food company or in a kitchen which is not calibrated does not have any value. May it be a thermometer, may it be a chiller or a freezer. Anything which is in the chiller has to be calibrated with the, and calibration dates will be 1 year. So anything in the kitchen has to be calibrated. This is a very important point, because when the municipality comes, why I'm saying that it has to be calibrated, because the ray thermometer and your probe thermometer, we are using it to get the temperatures. Now if the probe thermometer is not calibrated, say it is having fluctuating, say it is having 0.1 or 0.5 error, and we doesn't know about it, then we cannot find our critical control point, or we cannot find our critical limit from that. So if you calibrate the thermometer, they will tell you that what is the errors. If it is 0.1, 0.2, it's not a problem. Otherwise, if it's a major difference, then it will affect your CCPs. Like you will not get minus 18. Maybe it is minus 18, and then you're getting some other temperatures, and it is minus 10 and minus 18. Then your received food is going to be completely shattered, because you don't know it is already thawed. It is like defreezing. So that is one thing that you have to take care of right from your receiving. Your ray thermometers and your probe thermometers has to be calibrated from 1 year. Yeah, so the purchasing manager checks if it is calibrated, so that he can poke into the chicken, or I'm sorry guys, he can poke into the chicken right in the thicker area, and see what's the temperature. So if the temperature is minus 18, minus 17, he can take it and he can transfer into the freezer. Now there is another possibility in this. Say when you receive the chicken, your chicken is already defrozen, or it is already thawed, and you get the temperature minus 10. Now at the same day, you have a function at the same day, or the very next day you have a function. So in that cases, okay, we can take this chicken and we can transfer into the chiller for the defreezing procedure. So in that case, we can take this chicken. But in case if we don't have a function, we need to store this for again 1 week or 2 weeks. Unless you have a function from the kitchen, then you have to discard the item. So you need to discard the item and you need to tell the supplier that we're giving this back because the temperature has gone down to -10 and my temperature is -18. I have a critical limit of -18. I cannot come down to -10. So in that case, you need to give this, you need to not give it back, you need to reject it completely. And for this rejection also there is a checklist. For first I told you there is a probe thermometer and there is a array thermometer, and there is also a purchasing checklist. When you receive something, you write in the purchasing checklist, like you write the name of the supplier, like the supplier's name, and the time that you have received, and specifically the production and the expiry date, okay, and the time also, and the temperatures also will be written. Now say if you are rejecting this item, yeah, if the chicken has to be -18, till -17 it is okay, -15 is also okay, yeah, but if it goes to -10, you have to reject your chicken completely, and you write it down in your rejection checklist saying that the chicken has been discarded. Okay, this is all a HACCP procedures, like this is all a part of the documentation of HACCP, yeah. So in that case, you write in the rejection checklist saying that so and so item has been rejected, and this rejection checklist has been scanned and copied to the supplier. Say it's supplier XYZ, it has been scanned and copied to the supplier saying that so and so time I have received so and so chicken with so and so production and expiry, and I'm rejecting it because I have not attained the temperature, I have attained -10. So if it is -10, then my critical limit and my critical point has been deviated. Okay, it doesn't match my HACCP standard, provided I don't have any function for that day or for the next day or in 1 week. Then from the supplier perspective, they will send the same rejection checklist writing that because of the so and so reasons, this chicken has been the temperature has come down, and they will replace the stock. So this could be like maybe while loading into their vehicle, the temperatures were not correct, or during the packing time they didn't follow the same temperatures. So this also could be a reason. So why did I give you so much of a big process? Because for safe food handling techniques, temperature involves a major role, may it be from industrial perspective or may it be from a perspective that you're handling at home. Temperature plays an important major role. If the temperatures are not maintained properly, your food will it will get spoiled completely. And also one more thing, even if you receive fresh milk or frozen bread, now fresh milk, the temperatures, like, see, I'll tell you, chiller temperatures should be between 1 to 5. So 5 should be your critical limit, because above 5 it is going to be danger zone, because 5 to 60 is a danger zone. So when you receive your fresh milk, temperature should be between 1 to 5, yeah, like 2.3 or 3.4. Now this milk, if you keep it outside for 1 hour and then the person is coming and transferring into the chiller, then the shelf life of the milk, the whole shelf life of the milk, say if the original packing says 3 days, you're not going to get 3 days. This is within guaranteed, guys, because I am checking it every day. You are not going to get 3 days, because you're keeping already the fresh milk outside, and then you're claiming that you need 3 days. It is not going to happen, because when you keep it outside, already the temperature is coming down. Like it will come down to 7, 8, 9, 10. Like after 1 hour, the temperatures will go about 10. So, and if you again use this, maybe you can use it for 2 days, there's no problem. But within that 24 hours, the deterioration of the milk will start, because the temperature has not been followed correctly. So wherever you are, you are at home or you are in a kitchen industrial perspective, temperature plays a major role for this. So if you don't refrigerate or chiller or you freeze your products on time, temperature plays a really major role. This happens in the kitchen also. And like if you're cooking something, now we are done with purchasing, so this is the purchasing. So in an HACCP perspective, I said we have like thermometers, which is ray thermometers, and like probe thermometers. Now you guys will have a thought that why do we need 2 thermometers while handling while checking the food? Ray thermometer will only give you the temperatures of the external surface of a chicken. It may be a chicken or may it be a meat, okay? A piece of a meat, it will only give you the external temperature, like what is in the packaging. But if you want to get the temperature internally, you need to poke the thermometer and see. You need to poke the thermometer into the internal meat and see what is the exact temperature. Now, when you keep the food into the chiller also, say this chicken has been transferred into the chiller for thawing, yeah, I mean like for example, I have a order maybe or a function which is coming up like after 48 hours, after 3 days. So and after one day I'm transferring this chicken from the freezer to the chiller for the thawing. Yeah, so then I want to go and check the temperature of the chiller. So in the chiller display, maybe I'm finding it 5 degrees Celsius or 4 degrees Celsius. But if you want to see what is the temperature of the food, the internal temperature of the food can be only checked through a probe thermometer, because ray thermometer will help you to check the temperature of the surfaces of the food, surfaces of the wall and the chiller. But exact temperature of the food, you need to poke it and see. So when you go to the chiller, then when you poke it and see, you get to know what is the exact temperature of the chicken. Same applies for the cooking and cooling for the chicken. Like for example, when you cook something in the kitchen, yeah, so after the purchasing it, you take the chicken or the meat into the kitchen. Yeah, so in that case, why we're taking it to the kitchen, we're taking it for further procedures. So further procedures, when we are taking, we marinate it or we cut into cubes or whatever be the dish, we are cooking the chicken. Yeah, so after cooking anything, even it is at home or in an industrial perspective, after cooking we need to cool it down. Yeah, so after cooking also you check the temperature. Now in the kitchen, you always check probe thermometers. You don't check ray thermometers, because we don't want surface temperatures in a kitchen. We need internal temperatures in the kitchen. Surface temperatures are only required when you want to check chiller, freezer, purchasing. Okay, so that cases we need surface temperatures. Internal temperatures are required when you are working in the kitchen. So when you're cooking something, say it is a chicken curry or it is a pasta or something, or chicken with the pasta, so you want to check the temperatures, you insert the temperature into the internal part of that you need to. There is a way of inserting these thermometers. Like you don't go and check the leg piece, you need to check the thigh piece, or not the wing piece, the thigh piece where the meat is more. Then only it says exactly what is the temperatures. Then you get to know what is the temperatures. Now you know that cooking, I don't need to tell you guys what is the cooking temperatures. So cooking temperatures are above 75 degrees Celsius. It should be at least minimum 75, above 75. Yeah, so above 75, 85, 90, it is all well done. Okay, so your chicken should be above 75 degrees Celsius. Again, here temperature plays a major role. So in order to know if your chicken has been cooked or not, you need to check with your thermometers. Yeah, so if you don't have, this you don't require for an experienced chef or an experienced person who's daily cooking food at home, you don't require. But as an hygiene perspective, if you are an auditor or if you are a food hygiene officer, manager or whatever position, you need to recheck, you need to validate your processes. Like if the municipality inspector comes in, he or she is going to ask, how do you validate your cooking and cooling or purchasing procedures? You only have an answer saying that with my rate thermometers or with my probe thermometers. So that is the reason why I say that has to be calibrated. So if it is not calibrated, you don't know, like if your thermometer is giving you the right readings or not. Yeah, so when the municipality inspector or when your local inspector, your food inspector guy comes, first he's going to check like, okay, if the thermometer has been calibrated or not. So if it has not been calibrated, he or she is going to ask the same question, like if it is not calibrated, how are you going to believe or rely your readings? So that is why I'm saying calibration. Why calibration is important in a food industry or in a like in a kitchen. Yeah, so that way. So you need to check your cooking temperatures. And then after that, in a kitchen perspective, after cooking, we need to keep it into a blast chiller. So I think in your food processing, you will be learning what is the process of blast freezing. I think we have different types of freezing. Yeah, so quick freezing, blast freezing, IQF freezing, there are a lot of types of freezing. So in a industrial kitchen, for the easiness, yeah, for the time to be saved, they use a blast freezer. So there are two types of freezers. These blast freezer can be converted into a blast chiller as well as a freezer. So everything happens in one same equipment. Yeah. So again, after cooking this item, you transfer into your blast chiller. Now, in a blast chiller, in an efficient blast chiller, within 90 minutes, the temperature will come down. For example, if you're cooking it from 75 degrees Celsius or if you're cooking from 80 degrees Celsius, say in 90 minutes, that is in 1.5 hours, your temperature will come down to chiller temperatures. That is an efficient blast freezer. Again, your blast freezer or blast chiller also has to be calibrated, because you need to rely upon the readings of that. So each and everything in the kitchen, the chiller, the freezer, the blast chiller, everything has to be calibrated, because you have to be reliable with the readings. Yeah, because you are having a checklist to be documented and to be validated. So your readings has to be reliable. Tomorrow when somebody asks you, you are answerable for that, because you are the one, you are the ones who are responsible for the temperatures. So again, your blast chiller and your blast freezer also has to be calibrated. Once it is calibrated, they will give you a sticker saying that it is calibrated for like 1 year. So then you transfer into a blast chiller. So as I said, within 90 minutes, within 1.5 hours, the temperatures will come down. So if your say if your chicken curry or your chicken with pasta, whatever is say it is like 85 degrees Celsius, you transfer into the chiller, you need to check your timings. Yeah, either you check it with your phone with a stopwatch, or you check with your watch. You need to check the timings if within 1.5 hours, if the temperature is coming down. So give it like 90 minutes. So 90 minutes, 85 degree has to come between 1 to 4. So, and say if the portion is too much, like maybe see if the portion is like 500 grams, 600 grams and all, it's okay. But you have say 1 kilo, 2 kilo, or you have like a full vessel to blast chill it, then it is definitely going to take time. So you reduce your portion size. You divide them into 200, 300 or 500 grams, like 300 grams, keep into small bowls or pieces, these steel bowls, and then you keep it inside the blast chiller so that you get the exact temperature, so that you're within 90 minutes the temperature will be received. So if it is larger portions, you cut down into short portions and then you transfer, because anyway a industrial blast chiller is going to be really big. So you cut down into small portions and then you freeze it. Now after 90 minutes you go back, or if you are busy into something, you keep an alarm in your phone or keep a stopwatch, so you know that after 90 minutes you have to go back and check your temperatures. So after 90 minutes you go back and you're checking your temperatures, and you need to get it between 1 to 5. Like it can be 1.2, 1.3 or 4.5, something like that, like between 1 to 5, and then you see if your cooling has been attained. Now what is the problem if you cook a food? Okay, so if you cook a food and if you don't cool it out properly, what is the problem that is going to involve? Like you are cooking your food very neatly, okay, and if you don't cool, what is going to happen? Like same like cooking, your cooling also gives you a major role in processing a food or in preparing a food. Like if you cook a food well, okay, in 85 degrees Celsius, and if you don't cool down properly and then you keep it into the chiller, there are chances of spoiling your food, or there are chances of other foods which is inside in the chiller also, their temperatures also can be involved, or the food will not be good. I mean the shelf life of the food will not be good. Like we cannot even at home when you're cooking something, like in home definitely we don't check the temperatures, but the expert cooks, chefs and all, they know the temperatures. Yeah, if it is 85 degrees Celsius, we do the same thing, like we keep it outside, like in a cooling temperatures, or like where fan or AC is there, we keep it outside, so that we know that okay, after 1 hour it will be cooled down, and then we touch the surface and see, and if it is cooled down, and then we keep it into the chiller. Same way, so if you don't cool it properly, like for example, as soon as you cook something in 85 degrees Celsius, and then if you like right away you keep it into the chiller or in the fridge, the chances like there are 90% chances that your food will get spoiled. Food will get spoiled also, the food order also changes. Like for example, or a biryani or something, a chicken biryani or something that you cook in 95 degrees Celsius, and you transfer into a nice plate or something, or a nice casserole or something, and then on the spot you're transferring that into the refrigerator. Go next day and open and see and just check the smell will be really bad. So you will have to, like if you are transferring into a closed ball, you need to keep it outside for some time so that it cools down correctly, and then you need to transfer into the fridge. Otherwise the food orders also change. It doesn't give you like a pleasant smell, it gives you a very unflavorable, unpleasant smell. And which, I mean, like when you go out somewhere, you smell if your food is good. So if your food is not good, like even when I'm in the kitchen, I go here and there and I eat, and then I smell also. First I smell and then I eat. Yeah, randomly I go to some areas, maybe sometimes they keep nuts and all in a box like for 15 days, and then when you eat it, the taste completely changes. And that is when I tell that guys, change the nuts, because they are not going to change, because for them labeling makes them very difficulty. So in order that they give 1 month label for the nuts, And when I go random areas and I have a doubt that okay, maybe I need to taste something, that time I taste the biscuit or the nuts and see that time I come to know the biscuits are soggy. Then I say, guys, change the biscuit container or change the biscuit or change the nut box. So that way. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like first is that it's your smell. So first you taste your food with your smell and then you taste it. Yeah, I think smell is a very important, like I think in sensory evaluation also, your taste, your nose is a really important thing. Even if you are a chef or you are a food hygiene officer or you're cooking at food, your nose plays a major role, because you need to have a proper sensory evaluation. I think you all have had this subject, sensory evaluation, and that is the most uh, the subject that I enjoyed the most in my college, because I'm a person who use my nose a lot for the smelling, because most of the times in my kitchen, rather than the chefs finding out the food is spoiled, I am the first one to go and dig and find out that, chef, this food has been spoiled. Sometimes it is not even moldy, sometimes it is not even having the fungus, but the smell changes completely. Then we get to know the food is spoiled. Before tasting, I tell them that the chef, the food is giving you an unpleasant smell, so you need to change. Yeah, so I think when I was in BCM, the ones, not like, there are many subjects, but one among my favorite subjects was sensory evaluation. Yeah, so I mean, while you're learning, all those techniques will be helpful now or after 10 years. Yeah, so don't think that, oh, why do we learn sensory evaluation, why is sensory evaluation important? But yes, your nose, I mean, taste is there, but your nose plays an important role in the food hygiene area, because you smell everything. Like, because I go to the chiller and freezer, and the first thing that I do is I smell the food rather than tasting it. I smell. So sometimes there is, as I told you before, there's no fungus or there's no mold or there's no any color difference also, but the smell will be very bad. So that way, if you don't cool out properly your food, the smells can be very bad. Yeah, so you need to cool properly. Maybe if at home or in industrial perspective, you need to cool your food properly and you need to keep it. Yeah, so this is one major point that I told you is, for safe food handling technique is temperature. So temperature is involved in major cases. So yeah, and then as I told you, in like in home and all, it's very it's not very elaborated, but in a kitchen, yeah, you have like a lot of possibilities to get spoiled. Like if you keep it outside, or if you don't follow the temperatures, or like if different people open and close it at the same time. Like if you open and close your chiller 10 times, the temperature of the chiller also changes. So there are like lot more other various aspects, but in your home, or yeah, in a home level, it is very less. Okay, so this is one thing. So like can somebody come and say if it is okay, the class, the temperature, or any doubts are there? Because for me everybody is muted. So can somebody come and tell me a few words? Nobody is there? Can anybody hear me? Nobody is there to respond to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you guys all sleeping?
Yes, ma'am.
Susan, is everybody hearing? Because I mean, I just told somebody to come and give me a yes or no, or to just give me a gist, but I don't see anybody.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Can anybody else also come and say this?
Need to audible.
Audible on Lola, ma'am.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go to some few hazards. Okay, so there's also another there's also like few things like if you don't handle food safely, what are the other things that is involved? Like there is like few hazards also, it is not involved. Like, so I'll just go into that also. So there are few hazards like in an industrial aspect, there are few hazards like microbiological, chemical, and allergenic also, and physical also. Yeah, so I'll just go into a few hazards also. So like, what is the meaning of hazard? Like, I mean, hazard is something, a very common, definition or something. Hazard is something, when you hear the word hazard, you know that it's like, okay, something danger. Yeah, so it's something potential harm, or something that you can, cause something harm. So, like, for example, like when you're driving itself, when you put the hazard button, you're like, okay, hazard means there's some danger, or you're saying somebody that there is a danger, to be cautious about it. Yeah, so there are also like few hazards in the kitchen. So if you don't follow your temperatures, or if you don't follow safe technique procedures, there are also few hazards which is associated with it. So if it is in a kitchen, there are like, just one second, guys, just 1 second. Yeah, so like in your kitchen, like if you don't follow safe food handling techniques, what is going to happen is you are going to have like different types of hazards. So first hazard I'll say is microbiological hazard. I think microbiological hazards will be it will be very easy for you guys. I don't need to tell you anything, because microbiological hazard is something that you are learning in your kitchen. Yeah, so sorry, learning in your college. So microbiological hazard will be like bacteria, virus, mold, parasite, anything. Yeah, so as I told you before, if your food is spoiled, okay, if your food is spoiled, and then what is going to happen? If your food is spoiled, there is some bacteria involved, or there is any fungus involved, or there is any mold involved. So this is how it is. We say it's microbiological hazard. Like when a food is spoiled, how do we understand that what type of a hazard it is? Like, or what type of a bacteria it is? This is how we find out. Like when a food is getting spoiled, we know we have like 4 different types of hazard. So we need to categorize which hazard it is. Now if it is in a processing company, what do you say, processing in the sense, if it is a manufacturing company, not processing, manufacturing company, like if it's a pickle company, or if it is any XYZ, yeah, so there will be like food handlers working over there. So they will have these restrictions that they need to wear hairnet, they're not supposed to wear jewelry, even watch. Why? Because all these are physical hazards, and this can fall into the food and it can spoil the food. Moreover than spoiling, it cannot be consumed anymore. Okay, because if a hair spoils in your food, it's not spoiled, but you cannot consume it anymore. If a glass spoils, if a glass has fallen into your food, rather than spoilage, if you consume it, you have a threat. You will have injury towards your throat. So it is, I mean, it is moreover like an injury which is caused. So you will have to reject that food. Yeah. So there are also physical hazards like glass pieces, wooden pieces, screws, stones, hair, and all. Yeah. So when it is a manufacturing company, if they are processing pickles or anything like that, like canned juices or something, they see. And I think metal detection is also a part of this. Like if you have been in an industrial training or something, metal detection is also a part. Why do they do metal detection? Because it is also a physical hazard. So metal detection is also a part of this. So you check about this. Yeah. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, so that way. So this is one. This is the second this is the second hazard. Yeah. So the third one is chemical. Now, chemical hazard in an industrial perspective is, if you say that, like for example, in a kitchen you have different areas. You have stewarding areas, you have cooking areas, and you have chemical rooms. Usually chemical rooms are not near to the kitchen. It would be in a different area. You will have a chemical store differently. But sometimes like these food handlers, they make mistakes. So what do they do is that sometimes they keep these chemicals next to the food. Like now, what you say, like now it's pandemic now. Yeah, so because of the Yeah, so it's pandemic now, and because of the pandemic we have like different sanitizers and different chemicals to use in our kitchen, so that we ensure from pandemic. So earlier in our kitchen we used to use sanitizers, and then after that when it became pandemic, we switched on to disinfectant. Yeah, so now we are using a disinfectant. So this disinfectant is like a chemical, it is like a diluted chemical where we have to spray onto the surfaces, and then the contact time will be 1 minute, and it is rinse free. You have to just wipe it off with the tissue. So after handling raw food or after handling raw food or any preparation of the food handlers, they spray these diluted chemical, and then they spray onto the surface. They wait for the contact time of 1 minute, and then they wipe it off. So sometimes what do they do is that this can be a cross contamination, or sometimes this can be a chemical hazard. Like for example, one person will be preparing, or he might be marinating chicken or something, or marinating something, and the other person might be spraying this onto the table. So there are chances that this spray can fall onto the food. Actually, this is a very common chemical hazard that happens in the kitchen. Very common means very common, because people, they don't check what is the surrounding. So for example, sometimes maybe even I am standing sometimes over here, and if somebody is there, they just spray it. Then I need to remind them that, guys, I'm standing here. So then that is when they realize that, oh, okay, Neetu, I'm sorry. So it's a very common hazard that happens in the kitchen. So as and when you have to train them that, this is a chemical hazard and you have to be careful. So the same way, two chefs are standing, and one person might be preparing the food and the other person might be cleaning. So there are chances that, he's spraying and then the other person is not aware, and so this can also fall. And also there are chances that food is prepared and kept, okay, and food is prepared and kept, and then the other person is cleaning, and the chemical accidentally goes into the food, and that way a chemical hazard can also happen. Okay, so guys, I'll just tell you, see, I'm following this book. Okay, this is a food safety book, so mainly I'm referring this book. This is a food safety book. This is PIC level 2, so I'm following this book. Yeah, so, and this book, you get this book only when you go for the PIC training. Okay, so otherwise it's not available anywhere in the sites. Okay, so I'm following this book. I mean, you can see it's I have the ebook also, and I have it with me also. So I prefer these kind of books to refer. So there is like different levels. So I'm following the PIC 2.1. So like if you want to give the reference, you can write it down. It's a food safety handbook. It's from Highfield International. Yeah, Highfield is one of the certification bodies. So what all I'm saying, that I'm referring to, I'm like following from this book. Yeah. So this is one of the physical hazard. Sorry, this is one of the chemical hazards. So that is what I'm saying, like, sometimes they don't know, so and accidentally you occur a chemical hazard. Okay, this can happen also when you are at home, when you're preparing, like sometimes when you're dishwashing something, and then accidentally the dishwashing liquid can fall onto the food, or the dishwashing liquid is kept somewhere to the food, or like after the preparation of the food, you're using some chemical, or some not very like a mild chemical you're using, and accidentally you can also spray into the food. Like you are in a hurry and accidentally you can spray onto the food, then you will have to throw the entire food. So this can be a chemical hazard when you are at home also. Okay, then physical hazard, as I said, while at home also there can be a physical hazard, like if your hair is open, hair can fall, or if the screws or something, like if it is like any open surfaces are there, or any wooden pallets are there, or even from the gas or something which is physical, can also fall onto your food. Okay, then third one is allergenic. Now allergenic is something which is very important. Allergenic, in an industrial perspective, allergenic is very fatal and very important. Okay, so now all the years our local federation, they increase the allergens. Last time it was 9, this time they have increased to 13. So as and when they increase it, it is very difficult for me to train the staff, because they'll be like, last time it was 9 and how come it got changed to 13. Okay, so this time also we have like I'm just telling you guys 9, but to brief it, I will tell you all the 13 ones. Okay, so allergenic ones, I'll tell you how it can be fatal. Like, see, when you go to a restaurant, okay, when I don't know how is it in India, I mean how is it in Kerala, but now since the FSSI is very very strict and all, it could be okay. So usually when you go to a restaurant, now say me and my friend, okay, so say I'm allergic to prawns and she is okay, so we are going to a restaurant, we are ordering something with prawns, okay, so I'm saying I need something with prawns, and she says she needs some fried rice or something, yeah. So and then I'm telling the waiter that okay, I'm allergic to prawns, so I don't want anything which has prawns. Now the waiter informs me that waiter will inform me only two things. Either he will tell me that, okay ma'am, our kitchen is not completely allergen free and we will not be able to serve you this, or he will say, ma'am, you will have to wait for half an hour because we'll need to completely prepare it in a different area so that the other non-allergenic items are not touched with the allergenic items, like cross contamination doesn't happen. So now if you get an order, okay, now say I'm severely allergic to prawns, and I say, okay, I'll wait for half an hour. So what do you think the waiter will go and tell the kitchen? The waiter will go and say the kitchen that, okay, we have a guest, she's allergic to prawns but her friend is okay. So they will change the whole area, they will go to a different preparation area, and they will even change the uniform, they will put another pair of uniform. That is why they say they need half an hour or minimum 40 minutes to prepare this order, because it takes time. They will change their uniform, they will put another pair of uniform, they will get the allergen kit, where the allergen kit is going to have a different cutting board, a different color cutting board, a different color utensil, that is spoon, fork or something, a different color stirrer, a different color spatula, everything they're going to have different, okay. And yeah, and they will prepare, in such a like in such a thing that this prawns will not get affected with any other areas. Like now prawns means it can be crustaceans, like anything which has crust, your oyster, your lobster, prawns, everything. Prawns, it's not only about prawns, yeah. Prawns belong to one whole family. Like the first allergen is crustaceans, shellfish. We have different types of shellfish. We have prawns, we have oysters, we have crabs, we have lobsters. Now, I don't know what I'm allergic to. I only know that I'm allergic to prawns. So I have told the waiter that I'm allergic to prawns. So when you go and tell this to a kitchen, definitely this will be a two thing. Is she allergic to shellfish or is she allergic to prawns? So definitely they are going to follow the fusion steps for shellfish. So he or she will go to a different area, an allergen-free area, and then start preparing everything. So it will be totally allergen free, yeah? You will have different pan for that, different everything, yeah, because you cannot use a pan where prawn has been cooked, or you cannot use a spatula, or you cannot use a cutting board or a knife where prawns has been cooked, because you don't know what type of allergy I'm having. My allergy can be severe, or my allergy can be mild. Sometimes my allergy can be really mild, I will not have a problem. Sometimes my allergy can be really severe, that if you give me something, I can be unconscious. So, and if I'm unconscious, then the waiter and the chef can get into trouble. Yeah, he can be jailed, or he can be terminated from the company. So that serious your allergenic hazard is. So you have to go to a different area in the kitchen, and you need to use all these different equipments with these different color codes, and then you need to prepare it very differently and give it to the person. Better than this, you tell the customer that, guys, our kitchen is not allergen free and we will not be able to serve. This is what usually happens when municipality or the local federal government comes into a kitchen. They have asked me this question many times, that if a person has allergies, maybe some kind of an XYZ allergy, what are you going to do? Like very little small allergies and all we can say, but prawn allergy and all we cannot take a risk, because it can be really fatal, because it can even a death of a person can also occur, and then a person can be also unconscious, yeah. So that way, so I'll just briefly explain you the types of allergen that we are following in Dubai. So first one is crustacean and their products, that is shellfish allergy. Second one is egg and egg products. Some people can be drastically allergic to egg also. Then is milk and milk products. Some people can be drastically allergic to milk also. So in that case, we give them lactose free milk. Okay. Then after that, I think it will be gluten products. This you're learning very well. I don't need to explain. So some people can be allergic to gluten also. Then yeah, so soy and soy products. Some people can be allergic to your soy products also. After soy, yeah, then we have, like I told you, we have like like 3 different ones are also added. That is like celery and their products. Celery is kind of a vegetable. It's kind of a green color vegetable. It is in a stick. Okay, so you can Google and see what is celery. Some people can be drastically allergic to celery also. In our company, we serve celery with chicken wings. We have a dish where there is chicken wings which is served with celery and a bit of garlic sauce. So some people can be allergic to garlic also. And then I think the one which you guys will understand is one allergen, that is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide and its products. Some people can be drastically, not drastically, but very mildly allergic to sulfur dioxide also. Why sulfur dioxide? Because sulfur dioxide, they use it in certain food products like dry fruits and all, like dry apricots. Sometimes, yeah, in all these dried and canned foods, they use it so that the shelf life can be increased. And they use it in wines and alcohols also. So in wines, they, I think in one of your topics you have wine making also. Maybe in that it will be mentioned that the last process is addition of little bit of alcohol. I don't know in which year you're going to learn this, but I think in food processing or preservation there will be one topic called wine making. Because in when I was in BCM, I have got wine making, so I know the process very well. My seminar topic was wine making, so I know this very well. So in that wine making, the last step or the last process will be addition of alcohol. Same way, sulfur dioxide, sometimes they add alcohol, sometimes they add a little bit of sulfur dioxide. But you take any wines and you take the what are the chemicals that it added, one product will be sulfur dioxide, because sulfur dioxide also enhances the shelf life of the wine. So some people, when they have a bit of wine, it could be a problem with their stomach, but not very drastically, because they have it, because they will be having a permissible limit for the sulfur dioxide. Yeah, so only permissible limit will be added. So in that case, yeah, so some people like it can be allergic also, so they will add this permissible limit of sulfur dioxide also. So in that way, you like when they have the wine, if they have problem with their stomach, then they can say it from their chemicals, that what all chemicals are added, they will avoid it. So that way, but it is not a big problem. Why I'm telling it very correctly, because we have wines in our club. Yeah, so I know the what are the chemicals are added. So when somebody comes for inspection, they are going to ask for the wines also, and they check what the chemicals, so they can anytime they can question us. So that way, so these are the few important like allergens we have, like lots, like sesame and their products, then tree nuts, then then ground nuts. I don't want to go into detail everything, but like very important ones like can be nuts also. Nuts also a major, and any types of nuts. It can be ground nuts or it can be tree nuts also. Both the nuts can be like highly allergenic, so that way also. So these are the few allergenic that you follow in the kitchen, but allergenic is a must. This is allergenic. It is one of the HACCP protocol also. It is one of the HACCP protocol, because when you implement your HACCP, one process step will be also to know what is the allergenic process. So this is allergenic, it is added in one of your HACCP protocol also. So that's all about your hazards. So all these 4 types of hazards are also involved in your kitchen, because this is also important while you cook. Yeah. So yeah, so can somebody come and tell me, like, is it okay, the class okay and all? Can somebody come and unmute their mic and tell me, other than Susan or somebody?
There is an interactive session as well, ma'am. Should we get to that?
Yeah, we can get into that, no problem.
Now it's time for the interactive session. Participants are required to direct your questions to the speaker through the chat box in YouTube.
Okay.
Ma'am, the students are putting their questions in the chat. The first question is from Anita Siddhi. She's asked if it is safe to use vegetable and fruit
I didn't get
wash.
you. You're not audible. Yeah, Susan, can you repeat it? You're not audible.
Anita Siddhi has asked if it is 100% safe to use vegetable and fruit washing liquids.
Vegetables and fruits?
Washing liquids, ma'am.
Okay, so okay. Now, when it comes to washing liquids, in our company we use chlorine tablet. Okay, so chlorine tablet and washing liquids, what is the speciality is they have a permissible limit for that. See, as I told you before, also sulfur dioxide they use in wines, and there is a permissible limit for that. Everything has a limit for that. Even you're using see, we have natural preservatives and we have man-made preservatives. Yeah, so man-made preservatives also we cannot pour how much ever we want. We have a permissible limit for that. So when we buy these preservatives or these chemicals from outside, they give you a note also at the back of the bottle that what is a permissible limit that you can use. Same way, even in our company also, it is chlorine tablet that we are using. So we also have a permissible limit for that. So for the process of the vegetable washing is we have like two sinks. One sink we'll have to put normal water, and the second sink again normal water. But then the first sink we have like 20 liters of water to be filled. Both the sinks we have 20 liters of water. In that 20 liter of water you put one chlorine tablet. So one chlorine tablet is like 50 ppm. Okay, and two chlorine tablets will be 100 ppm. So for 20 liter of water we cannot put two tablets, we can only put one tablet. So that is the permissible limit of the chlorine tablet. This we are using for washing vegetables and fruits. Okay, so in this 20 liter of water, when you put one chlorine tablet, it dissolves it completely. And then the first sink, like when you're how vegetable washing happens everywhere. Okay, most of the places is you have two sinks. One sink, as I told you, they will keep normal water. Second sink also normal water, and 20 liter and 10 liter is according to your permissible limit. Say in some of the chemicals it will be written that you have to pour 10 liters, or sometimes you have to pour 20 liters. You will get an SOP from your chemical company. So as per my SOP in our company is 20 liters, 20 liter of water and 20 liter of water. In the first sink you will wash it to remove the soil, and in the second sink after removing the soil you transfer into the second sink which has chlorine tablet. You just dip it and take. And the permissible limit is, so soft skin vegetables it is 1 to 3 minutes, and for hard skin it is 3 to 5 minutes. Why there is difference between? Because soft skin vegetable will be your leaf, more of your leafy vegetables like Roman lettuce, then all these leaf kind of vegetables, broccoli, all these kind of soft skin vegetables, raspberry, blueberry, all your berries, your strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, all these, then any herbs that you want to put in your food, all these kind of leafy vegetables, you will put it only for 1 to 3 minutes. Again, nobody is going to put for 3 minutes. Maximum you will put for 1 minute, because otherwise shelf life of your vegetable will be spoiled, because when you take it from the chlorine tablet and you put it in the chiller, second day it will be spoiled. So maximum they will put 1 minute, 1 to 2, not even 2 minutes, maximum they will put 1 minute. So raspberry, everything they will just dip it and take, and while dipping it and taking, it is rinse free. After that you don't need to wash it with your normal water and keep it. And these liquids and these chlorine tablets are absolutely safe. And one more thing, if it is safe if you use it wisely, like you have a permissible limit for everything. In certain companies they have different types of chemicals which is being adjusted, already diluted, so you just need to pour it into the sink. I feel chlorine tablet is more efficient because chlorine kills the bacteria, and we know about it. Yeah, because here in Dubai, everywhere it is chlorine water. So we know that chlorine water is for killing microorganism, and chlorine tablet is like more safer. So I don't have a problem. But again, it's up to you. If you use two tablets, then definitely it is not going to be safe. So for 20 liter of water, you have to use one tablet each, then it is going to be safe. So after the chlorine tablet dissolving into your washing sink, then you can dip it for 1 to 3 minutes or 1 minute maximum, and you take it. Hard skin vegetables, it's okay, you can keep it for 3 to 5, like maximum 3 minutes, like your watermelon, apple, all those kind of the hard skin, dew melon, rock melon, all these hard skin vegetables, you can keep it for a little longer. But again, it depends upon how wisely you use it. Everything has got permissible limits. Your material safety data sheets will be given, MSDS will be given from the chemical company for you. Even the chlorine tablet has MSDS. Your material safety data sheets says what and when you have to do. Everything has its own SOPs and its own material safety data sheets, which will be also checked by your local or federal government. So it is definitely safe. Even if you use liquid or even if you use chlorine tablets, it is definitely safe. I'll tell you which chlorine tablet to refer. In our company, we are using Viking Gulf chlorine tablet. You can just Google it and check it now. You can see the photo and the MSDS in that. Just type in chlorine tablet Viking Gulf. Okay, I'll just show it in my phone. You will get how exactly it is, that tablet. Yeah, so the chlorine tablet, it looks like this. Yeah, it looks I don't think I can show it in my phone. It is exactly like this, the chlorine tablet. It is like this. You can just put it in the sink and then it will like dissolve it off, and it is all got MSDS for that. Your material data safety data sheet is there in that. And also one more thing, one major point. Now when municipality comes, they're going to ask you that how do they know that you have put one tablet or two tablet or half a tablet. We again have chlorine strips for that. With the strips, the water which has chlorine tablet, if it is one or half, when you dip it the strip and see, the strips give you the exact value. So in that, you know if it is safe or not. Like if you have put two, it will give you more value. If you put half, it is not going to show any color. If you put one, it is going to show you the same colors. So you have chlorine strips for that. You also have sanitizer strips for that. Like when you dilute your chemical and pour it into the like food areas, like food service area of the preparation areas, there also you can put your strips and see if your dilution levels are correct. Yeah, so you can always trace back. Like one good thing about food safety is it's all accurate. Like food safety, like we say, food safety standards cannot be compromised. So one good thing about food safety and their products is everything is reliable and everything is accurate. Each and everything in a kitchen that you use is accurate. May it be a thermometer, may it be a chlorine strip, may it be a chemical, everything is accurate because we have each and everything. We have temperatures, we have calibration, we have strips, so everything is accurate. We cannot make any goof up saying that, oh, it's not like this. This is one major good point about food safety, is very reliable and very accurate it is if you do it very wisely. So you don't need to worry about it. Yeah, so yeah, let's move on to the next question.
My person is asked if leftover food has to reach a certain temperature when we it.
No, I cannot hear you, Suzanne.
Merlin has asked if leftover food has to reach a certain temperature when we are reheating it to eat it again.
Yeah, okay. So as I told you that 75 degrees Celsius is the food temperatures to attain the cooking temperature. 75 degrees Celsius is the temperatures. Now for reheating, okay, for reheating, I will tell you something. I just opened that page and kept for you. Yeah. Yeah, can you guys see this germometer? Okay, I've highlighted in this book and kept for you guys. In this, the temperatures are there. Yeah. So in this, it's a germometer which says like, see, 63 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius. Yeah, this is a germometers. Now, if I was taking class for you guys, I could have shown you in presentation. Yeah, so this is a germometers. So now from 5 degree to 63 degrees Celsius, we say it's the danger zone. Now, as I told you before, that why 5 degree to 63 degrees Celsius. I think before, when I was taking class, I had mentioned that 1 to 5 degrees Celsius is the chiller thermometer temperatures. Now critical limit, we will only put 5. We'll put 1 to 4, and 5 is a critical limit, because above 5 is a danger zone temperature. Any food which is above 5 degrees Celsius is a danger zone temperature. So 5 to, yeah, so from 5 to 60 is a 1 minute. Merlin is sending out some message. I am, that's why. Okay, I'm already in live chat. I mean, I don't know, she's sending out message. Okay, so from 5 to 60 degrees Celsius is a danger zone. So in this temperatures, we cannot keep food outside, and the bacteria multiplies like very fastly from 5 to 60 degrees temperatures. Yeah, so that is a reason why I told time and temperature is a very important procedure or step in a safe food handling technique. So if your food is cooked up to 75 degrees Celsius or above that, we cool it down. I told you that in 1.5 hours, in 90 minutes, the temperature has to come down between 1 to 5. Again, not 6, 7, 8, but 1 to 5, so that we know that temperature is minimal, and the multiplication will not happen. Even though it's happened, it's in a very minimal stage. Okay, so 1 to 5 degrees Celsius. And what do we do is that after that, we transfer into a chiller for storing. Now, any ready to cook items or any like high risk item, the temperature, the labeling, the shelf life will be only 3 days, that is 72 hours. Within 72 hours we need to cook it, or we need to serve it, or we need to discard it. After 72 hours we cannot keep food into the chiller. This is as per the local federation that is given to us. So any item that you cook, we can only keep it for 3 days. It only has shelf life 3 days that you keep it into the chiller. This is the same for home also. Maybe at home, maybe 4th or 5 day you can keep, but again your food deterioration and the smell, everything will change. But ideally 3 days is best. So 3 days when you keep it, on the second day you're receiving an order. Chicken curry, I'm preparing it today. I'm cooking and cooling it in 90 minutes, and I'm keeping inside my chiller. Second day, I'm getting an order for chicken curry. I don't take the whole chicken curry. I take maybe 100 grams or 200 grams required. I reheat it. I reheat it in my like in my oven, or like in my however, like in my sorting pan or something. I reheat it. Only thing that you have to be careful while reheating is your temperature should pass the danger zone. 5 to 60 degree is the danger zone. So while you're taking this prepared food, that is this chicken curry which I prepared 2 days before, or one day before, that I prepared and kept, when I'm taking out my chicken curry, when I'm cooking it, it should pass through the 5 to 60 degrees Celsius. So whatever happens, how many hours or how many minutes, or maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 or 20 minutes, my food should pass through the danger zone. 5 to 60 degrees Celsius it should pass, and it should be above 75 degrees Celsius. If I tell you that, oh guys, you have to do it above 75 degrees Celsius, you are just going to buy heart it. So that's why I started from the danger zone. So when you take the food, it is going to be like maybe 4.5, 4.6. Ideally 5 to 60, this danger zone temperature phase, it has to pass, and the temperature should reach at least 75 or above 75. 75 degrees Celsius is also okay. 76, 77, 78, 90 is also okay. But ideally, it should pass 5 to 60. Here in Dubai, it is 5 to 60. Region to region, it differs. Sometimes in Abu Dhabi, it is 63. Maybe in Ajman, it is 64. But ideally, since I'm working in Dubai, it is 5 to 60. I will tell 60. Why? Because hot holding temperature should be maintained minimum 60 degree. Hot holding is like when you're preparing your buffet, or in my club we have canteen, so we keep it in the Bain Mary. Yeah, so I hope everybody knows what is Bain Mary. So when we keep it in Bain Mary, the temperature should be minimum 60. So it shouldn't go down to 60. Why minimum 60? Because 5 to 60 is the danger zone. So always when I check the temperatures with the thermometers, it will be 65 or 75. So that is why. So link between and learn. So you know that 5 to 60 is danger zone, 60 is hot holding temperatures for the Bain Marys. So it should pass through this temperature phase, and it should be above 75. 75 is also okay, there is no problem. 76, 77, 79, 80 ideal temperatures. So your reheating temperatures will be the same. One more thing, reheating temperatures and your cooking temperatures are the same, provided your reheating should pass through the temperature phase from 5 to 60. So 65 and above, 75 and above. Ideally, the temperature that is given in our local authority is 75 and above. So you keep your critical limit 75. So if you're preparing something, critical limit will be 75. It has to pass through 75 degrees Celsius and above. This is for reheating. Yeah, so we can move to the next question.
Miss, am I audible now? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so the next question, a few people have asked about this, and that's the major impact of COVID-19 on food safety and handling.
Okay.
They've asked what is the major impact that COVID-19 has had on food safety and handling procedures.
Okay, so this is a very good question. So see, when it comes to COVID-19, one good thing is they don't affect food. COVID-19 doesn't stay in food for a longer time. So the very least affected areas were our kitchen. Okay, if you prepare food above 85 degrees Celsius and 90 degrees Celsius, COVID-19 will not be affected through our food. But your food handling techniques or food handlers or food packaging materials will cause. For example, now say I ordered food, okay, through an online site. Okay, here it is Zomato. So I'm ordering food through Zomato. So maybe I'm ordering anything. Yeah, it can be what do you say, something you can order. I'm ordering a burger. Okay, I need a chicken burger. I'm ordering a chicken burger, and the delivery boy is coming. So here, when the delivery boy come, you know how he's coming. He's going to come in a big bag, a hot chilled or a cold chilled bag, and he's going to wear his dress. He's going to wear gloves. If he is affected with COVID and I am taking the food from him, then definitely I'm going to get COVID, because the thing is that he is affected by COVID. Okay, so the packaging material, his hand, my hand, everything can be a medium. Okay, so in that way I can get COVID-19, but I will not say that food will have COVID-19, because this we have got separate class from our local authority that COVID-19 will not affect your food, but it will affect your food handling techniques, like the uh, person who's preparing the food, who's handling the food, packing materials, all these kind of things. This you have to be very careful, because honestly, I just don't want to lie with you guys. Honestly, when we had pandemic, I think about 2 to 3 months, my office was closed. But I was a regular person who used to buy food from outside. I used to order from Zomato. But one thing that I used to do is, when the delivery boy come, I take the food and I keep it in and I run to wash my hand. Or the moment I get the food packing, I'm sanitizing the whole area. I'm sanitizing the whole food packing and I'm taking. And what I did at home is, I took this is like real. Okay, I'm not like lying or something. This is like real what I did. Okay, and when the food came, what did I do is that the food packing that I received from outside, I just discarded that, and I took the like the plate or the utensil cutlery that I'm using at home. I transferred that into this food. I removed all the baking papers and all, just the food alone I transferred, and I removed the baking paper. So as soon as when I received the food packing from the delivery guy, I like sanitize it. Like I use a sanitizing spray. Okay, I can maybe show you. I'm using a sanitizing spray. I sanitize and I keep it aside. I run to the washroom to wash my hand. Take it. I go to the kitchen. What do I do is take the plate and cutlery from my house, and I transfer the food and throw and discard. Again, run to the washroom and clean my hand, and then I have the food. This is what I did. I have done for 3 months, and I have not put any like anything. I have not told a lie or something. This is like real, like guaranteed, like 120%, because this is what I've done. And I was the only person who used to order food and eat. I and my brother, yeah, both of them used to order food from me. He also used to do the same thing. I also used to do the same thing. Me, from a hygiene perspective, I was a little psycho, because for me it was like too much, because we are coming from this field and we know, and in kitchen we have like everywhere sanitizer. So like for me it was like too much for me. Even right now it's the same. Right now in Dubai also, they have eased in many places. Like if you see the news, they have eased a mask in I think in hospitals and in exercise and walking areas and all. But I'm a person who will wear mask always. I will not go to this, because I know what is going to happen. But to tell you, COVID-19 will not come through your food, because there is a research study stating this. And this is sent through one of the person from the local government, and I've read this. Yeah, there is a research study which says COVID-19 will not come through food, but it will come through bad handling techniques. Like for example, if the delivery guy is not neat, if he is having any symptom of COVID-19, or if his hand is dirty, or if he's been handling with a COVID-19 patient, or that way, that way it will get handled. Same is affected with the kitchen also. Now say the food you're preparing will not have COVID-19, because you're heating this to 90 degrees Celsius, yeah. But the guy who's preparing is having COVID-19, yeah. He is not wearing mask properly, or he's touching his mask 10 times. Then this food is going to be at a major risk. So while handling your food, if you are in a kitchen, use all your PP, wear your mask. If you are, why do you think before COVID-19 coming, that our local authorities has suggested to use gloves? They have told us that to use gloves. Now after COVID-19, they said you need to use gloves when for waiters and waitress in a restaurant. But before this rule has come, they have implemented this in the kitchen. It's also a HACCP policy, because in your personal hygiene it is coming. Why do you think people has told this? Because to protect from bacteria and virus. So the same thing is applicable for COVID-19 also, because COVID-19 is a virus. So that is why they say that you need to use your gloves while being in the kitchen, while handling raw foods, or while handling ready to eat items. When you're preparing raw salads or raw fruit salad, you need to use your gloves, because the same concept has been applied. Bacteria or virus can transfer from your hand to the food that you're preparing. And then most of the time they say when you're handling raw food you need to wear gloves, or waiters or waitress when they're serving the food you need to wear gloves. Same practice, yeah, because your virus or your bacteria from the hand should not pass on to the other person. But again there is one more thing: if you don't change your gloves regularly, your gloves can be a big medium for COVID-19. So that is why they say that, because I have seen people wearing the same gloves, handling food and going to the washroom with the same gloves. So if you then do it that way, then there is no use. If you really want to practice, then after each meal or after two meal you need to change your gloves. Or if you use the same gloves, now you're handling, say you're preparing chicken or you're preparing salad, yeah, salad, or you're preparing raw fruits and vegetables, okay, and then you're going to the washroom with the same gloves. You're after preparing, you're going out from the kitchen using the same gloves to open the handles of the kitchen. Then you're going to the washroom, coming with the same. I have seen people doing that, okay, that's why I'm saying. And then you're coming back and then you're preparing the food. Then don't tell me what bacteria and what virus you're having it in your hand. The same principle goes for COVID-19 also, because COVID-19, after all, it's a virus. So COVID-19 will not come through the food that you have prepared, which is 90 degrees Celsius, but it will come through food handling techniques. Like if your hand is not clean, if you are a person who is infected with COVID-19, if you touch 10 times your mask, and then those kind of ways you will get COVID-19. But COVID-19 will never come from food. This I have read from a research study, and we have been advised from a local authority. And when there was COVID-19, because the whole Dubai was on lockdown, the restaurants was also locked down, but they did not shut down the whole restaurants. Because we could online food. I'm sorry, because we could online order food. So if they were saying that the food, if COVID-19 comes from food, then they would have shut down the restaurants and all, right? So in that way, the local authority is very strong. I think when we had major issues and cases over here, none of our restaurants or none of the supermarkets were shut down. For us also, online delivery was there. Only thing is that we were not allowed to go to the company because of the human to human, the median, because you meet somebody you will get. But online deliveries were on, because that, which means they know that. And one more thing is that we had social distancing. Now also in our kitchen, in our restaurant, we have social distancing from 1 to 2 meters. Only thing is that it is reduced to 1 meters. Now also in a table only 10 people can sit with a minimum of social distancing. Because why? Not because of the food, because of the human surface, because human to human can spread, but not. I will never tell you guys that COVID-19 will come from food, because if you are doing a safe food handling technique, may it be at home, may it be at industrial perspective, COVID-19 will not come from food. It will come from the way how you handle it. Like if your packaging material is infected, your packaging material is bad, you have kept it in somewhere, then definitely yes, but not your food. Because all these 3 months when I was at home, I did the same procedure, yeah, because then I sanitized and did it, yeah, but it will not come through your food, because this is guaranteed. And I have the research study with me, because we have been our local authority, they always send us research materials through Google. We have the food safety groups, in that it is specifically there. If at all, if the COVID-19 was spread through food, then first thing what they would have done is shut down all the restaurants and hotels, and they would have told we don't need any online deliveries, yeah. So that way. So we can go to the next question.
Thank you, ma'am. Bismi has asked, browning reactions are common in food items. What happens if we consume them?
Sorry, what happens if we
Consume them.
give me an example. Like, can you guys give me an example? Like, what are you actually looking forward for?
So the simple question being that if we have a browning reaction, for example, what we would see in of apples and so on, is there any problem when a browning reaction happens in a particular food in when we consume it? That is the question.
If you see, Susan, if you ask me this question in food safety level, I don't think it's a problem. But yeah, in a quality of food, this is a problem. If you ask me food safety, like if you at home, if you cut apple and keep it for 2 hours, if it is brown, either we will throw or we will eat. But I don't think there is a food safety problem with that. But yes, quality of the food will be affected. We cannot give this to anybody. Like if you are an industry, if you cut apple and see, if it is turning brown, you cannot serve it to the customer because he is going to complain that my apple has become brown. But if I don't think there is a food safety problem for that, because the food doesn't get spoiled unless you keep it outside and you get a spore or a fungus in that. But I don't think, because I have eaten brown apples and absolutely safe. So if you keep it 2 hours outside and eat it and you're saying there is a food safety problem, no. But if I mean, you cannot serve it to others because they will complain saying that it is a quality issue. So if from a chef's perspective, if you're like making it at home and you're giving it to somebody, if you have guests at home or something, then you cannot serve because it is not presentable and the quality of the food is affected. But I don't think there is a food safety problem for that. Yeah, we can move to the next question.
Thank you for answering the questions, ma'am. That was all for the interactive session. For all of those listening in the live, I would like to say that feedback forms and certificate forms are posted in the chat box. If you fill out both of them, the certificates will be mailed to you. Thank you. Now, for proposing the vote of thanks, Ms. Maria Gigi, Vice President of Food Science Association.
Good afternoon, one and all. Today, on this very auspicious occasion, I would like to take this opportunity to put all of my gratitude into words. It is my privilege to propose a word of thanks and acknowledge each and everyone gathered here virtually. This conduct of the seminar would not be possible without the blessings of God Almighty. Gratitude to the Almighty in the smooth conduct of the national webinar as part of the International Lecture Series Vykhari 2021. Sincere thanks is extended to Principal Dr. Steffi Thomas and Director for Self-Financing, Reverend Father Philemon Kaladra, for the support and encouragement extended to the department's endeavors. On behalf of all gathered here, heartfelt thanks is extended to our eminent speaker for the webinar, Ms. Neetu Pradeep, Food Safety and Hygiene Supervisor, Capital Clerk, Dubai, UAE. In spite of a very hectic schedule, she kindly accepted our invitation to lead the seminar, for which we are honored. Thank you, ma'am. Invited guests, teachers, and members of the student community, this webinar would not have been successful if not for your all-hearted support and participation. Heartfelt gratitude is extended to each and every one of you. Last but not the least, a special word of thanks to all the members of the food science family of BCM College, the department faculty, and students who have worked hand in hand for the success of the program today. Thank you to the teachers and each committee of students for the coordinated effort in making this program a success. Thank you, one and all.